Welcome to NetRush Report, the home for deeper, richer stories from the world of tennis. If you love the game beyond the baseline, hit that subscribe button and join us on this emotional ride. Felix Auger-Aliassime didn't stumble onto a tennis court, he was practically born on one. Raised in Quebec, Canada, Felix was a tennis prodigy by age 8. By 14, he had already made headlines as the youngest player ever to qualify for an ATP Challenger main draw, signaling the arrival of a future superstar. With effortless movement, a thunderous serve, and the kind of composure well beyond his years, it wasn't long before the tennis world started whispering, "This kid's got Grand Slam potential." His junior career was decorated. A finalist at the 2016 US Open Boys event, multiple challenger titles, and by 2019, at just 18 years old, Felix broke into the ATP Top 100, an incredible feat for someone barely out of high school. But the spotlight is never soft. When you're young, gifted, and a potential heir to Canada's tennis throne, the pressure isn't gentle. With Milos Raonic frequently injured and Denis Shapovalov struggling for consistency, Felix was often seen as the next big thing. The headlines loved comparing him to contemporaries like Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, who were winning titles early and pushing into the top 10. But the reality for Felix was far more complex. Though he reached 9 ATP finals early in his career, he lost the first 8, each one more crushing than the last. The tennis world was quick to judge, can he win the big one? Is he mentally tough enough? What most didn't know, though, was that behind the scenes, Felix wasn't alone in carrying the weight. Felix met Nina Ghaibi, an equestrian and fellow athlete, years before he would lift his first ATP trophy. Their relationship blossomed slowly, away from the media circus, built on shared values, discipline, ambition, and a love for competition. Nina understood what Felix was going through, not as a tennis player, but as a professional under immense pressure. As Felix himself would later admit, "It's the best thing to have her in my life. I couldn't have gotten through the last few years without her." Whether it was comforting him after another heartbreaking final, encouraging him during injury rehab, or simply keeping him grounded while traveling, Nina became a rock in his ever-changing world. And unlike some WAGs of sports stars, Nina didn't chase the spotlight. She didn't give interviews or pose for glam magazine covers. She stayed close to Felix, offering stability and love when the wins were rare and the critics loud. In 2022, something changed. Felix Auger-Aliassime went from almost to absolutely. That year, he won his first ATP title in Rotterdam, finally silencing critics. But he didn't stop there. He would go on to win 3 more titles that year and lead Team Canada to its first ever Davis Cup victory. In interviews, Felix frequently mentioned Nina, not in grand gestures, but in the kind of soft, authentic gratitude that comes only from someone who's felt supported through the worst. "Nina's helped me in ways that people don't see. She's the calm in the storm." Then came 2023. A season that started with hope spiraled into frustration. Injuries returned. Losses piled up. Confidence waned. For someone who had just cracked the ATP top 6, the slide was painful to watch. Some matches he barely finished. Others, he lost in early rounds to players outside the top 100. The sparkle in his eyes dimmed. Fans began asking if Felix was burned out. He later revealed the truth in interviews, that the physical injuries were matched by emotional exhaustion. Expectations, constant travel, lack of rhythm, it all weighed him down. But through it all, Nina was there. She wasn't just attending matches, she was helping him rebuild. "When everything feels like it's falling apart, having her with me, knowing she believes in me, makes all the difference." In late 2023, amidst all the chaos, Felix proposed to Nina. It wasn't a flashy, paparazzi-covered affair. It was intimate, meaningful, and deeply symbolic. At a time when his career was in limbo, Felix made a lifelong commitment to the one person who had stood by him unconditionally. That proposal wasn't just a romantic milestone, it was a declaration of resilience, of clarity. Felix was reminding himself and the world, "I may be struggling on court, but off court, I know exactly who I am and who I want by my side." In early 2024, signs of a comeback started showing. His game looked sharper. The confidence, rebuilt brick by brick with Nina's encouragement, was returning. While he wasn't dominating like Alcaraz or Djokovic, Felix looked like a man who had rediscovered purpose. He played with maturity, knew when to push, and most importantly, didn't look lost anymore. I've had to learn how to fall and get back up again. And this time, I'm stronger for it. The couple has since traveled together across tour stops, Nina in the stands, calm and proud, never missing a beat. Felix and Nina are more than just a tennis power couple. They've also used their platform to support children's education in Togo through Felix's collaboration with FAAP, Felix Auger-Aliassime project. Together, they've shown that sports, love, and purpose can intersect beautifully. Whether they're hiking on rest days or sharing quiet dinners in between tournaments, their bond is proof that behind every great athlete is someone holding them up even when no one's looking. Felix Auger-Aliassime may never be the most flashy player on the ATP Tour. He might not win every slam or dominate every stat sheet. But what he does have is something far rarer, a deep, unshakable foundation in love, loyalty, and inner strength. And for that, we thank Nina. Because through her belief in him, we're witnessing a tennis player who refuses to be defined by his lows and who will rise, again and again. If you found this story inspiring, hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful tennis stories, and let us know in the comments, who do you think has the strongest off-court support system in tennis today?